Peace, y'all. It's your boy Zulu King Street Fame 47. Y'all know what it is. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you want to donate, the Cash App will be pinned in the comments. Talk to you more about some prison, man. You know what I'm saying? In Florida prison life. Especially for you young bulls out there. You know what I'm saying? That, I was once one of them young bulls. You think you ain't never gonna go to jail. You ain't gonna go to prison. Some of y'all think you actually earning stripes by going to prison, and you come out. That's what y'all just came home from prison, and makes you extra tough and stuff like that. But it's a side of prison like a lot of people don't, they don't like to tell you about. They don't talk about. The camp that I was at, Taylor CI. That was my first bid. Now, my first bid, when I got there, I had 3 years. I done did time before in the county. I did like a year, got out, came back, did another year, got out, came back, did another. I did 4 years back to back like that. And in the county, you do 8 months out of a year. In prison in Florida, you do 10 months. It's 85%. So I got 3 in, 2 out. That was a split sentence. When I went, I thought that shit was a long time. I was in the dorm, and it was old school. He's sweeping up the dorm. He the houseman. Now in Florida, the prison, the houseman is basically that's your job. You clean up the dorm, bedding every year and stuff like that. It's not like somebody like up in New York where they control the dorm and stuff like that. So it ain't the same thing. The houseman is just a job. So he was a houseman and he was sweeping. So he's like, yo, excuse me. He's come back through my bunk every year. So, I lift up my feet so he could sweep up under the bunks and all that. So he's like, I got to get my body ready, young blood. I'm about to go home, about to get my body ready. I got to work. I got to get a job. You know what I'm saying? I can't get caught up and come back here. So I was like, oh, you sure? He's like, yeah. I go home soon. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I thought he'd go home like in a month or 2 or 3 months. So he was like, I got 3 years left. I'm sitting there like, what? Like, that's my whole bid. You know what I'm saying? Like, 3 years left. He said, I done been down 12. I got 15. So it's Mando, you know what I'm saying? 15 mandatory, no game time. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I went up with 3 mandatory. They didn't give me no game time. It was a firearm charge, pistol charge. So I was like, wow, like, I'm coming up in here thinking 3 years is a long time. And the way he acting, 3 years is like a couple of months. So that was my first lesson, like in the mind frame of doing time. It was like, I thought it was like a long ass time, and it's not when it comes to doing time in prison. So your average person outside, it's a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, the camp that I was at was a disciplinary camp. Like I said, it's for people that was always in trouble, people that just came out of the box, out of CM. Like, you know what I'm saying? They send you to this, even the work camp was controlled movement. Everything on this camp was controlled movement. And the work camp in prison is usually low custody. It's usually 3 dorms. And you could go in and out of whatever dorms freely. You can move without the COs escorting you anywhere. Not at Taylor. Taylor, the work camp is controlled movement. You know what I'm saying? So everything's controlled movement. The COs are very abusive in this camp. And that's what I really want to talk about. Like, you think you really want to go to prison, you gotta revalue your life. You know what I'm saying? So right before I got sentenced to prison from court. So when I get to the county, it's a kid that was there. Some things had happened, and I ran down on him all the way to inside his house. You know what I'm saying? He ran inside the house. His mom was there. There was kids there. So I let it be. You know what I'm saying? They flew him to Chicago. He was out there. They had to hide him in Chicago. So he was hiding for like a year. I ain't see him. I ended up in the county. They put me in the cell with him. He was back in Orlando, and he was in the cell. in my cell. So I'm like, oh shit. So he ain't want no smoke or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Things got, you know, if it's gonna be something, then it's gonna be something right now type. That ain't nothing. He ain't want nothing. And we left it at that. You know what I'm saying? The misunderstanding, with some snitching stuff and, you know, things like that or whatever. But it was a misunderstanding. So he already had been to prison. So he was like, "Dang, you going to prison?" So he was already telling me like, "Yo, when you get to the reception center, don't talk." So I was like, "What?" He's like, "Don't talk for like 24 hours. Trust me." You know what I'm saying? So when I get to the reception center, y'all seen what he was talking about, cause people in there, like, somebody might ask you what the CO say, and the CO catch you talking to him, they beating the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? In the reception center in CFRC, you know what I'm saying? It's what's Central Florida Reception Center. They are beating you down. They were hitting people in the wheelchairs. I seen them slap dude up in a wheelchair. They ain't got no heart. Old people, young people, they whooping your ass. If you ain't doing you ain't walking that line. Everywhere you walk, you gotta walk in the line. You walk out that line, anything that you're doing wrong, people's getting life flighted. They was beating people so bad that helicopters had to come get them. Understand? So I was like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It was a different world from the county jail. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. I end up at Taylor CI. Things are so bad at this camp that you have inmates. I want you to think about what I'm about to say. You know what I'm saying? What will make a person do this? How bad is it that a person has to do this? For you young niggas, that you finna go up that road, you living that crazy life, y'all out here sipping that lean and popping them perks and Xanax. I done did all that. You know what I'm saying? I done lived that. You know what I'm saying? So what makes it so bad that people are swallowing razor blades trying to get out of this camp? Because the only way to get out of this camp, people put in transfers. They be there for 2 or 3 years waiting to get transferred. This camp don't want to let you go, you know, and it's a horrible camp. You know what I'm saying? They're real abusive. It's real strict. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They push you to the point of to where you're going to break and do something to one of the officers. So people were taking razor blades. This camp had the most suicide rate than any camp at the time that I was there, of people trying to kill themselves. So people would take razor blades. Some people would scrape the razor blade on the floor, make it a dull, and they'll swallow it. Like when a CO walking by the cell, boom, swallow it. So the CO got it, you know what I'm saying? Now they take you to medical. You're on the suicide watch in a Ninja Turtle outfit, butt naked. You got to go 3 days. You got to go with the whole plan now. If you ain't eating, you can't eat. You can't do nothing. You got to go this whole 3 days, stick to the program, because they're going to put you back on that compound. And if they don't, then, you know what I'm saying, they'll ship you to another camp. And that's the only way people was getting out of this camp, was going psych. Like I said, it had the most suicide attempts. I was in the canteen line one time, and we just left the dorm. Dude tried to hang himself off the fire sprinkler system in the back of the dorm. And he must have been hanging for a minute. You know what I'm saying? His eyes were bulged out of his head. You know what I'm saying? They pushed him by in the gurney, the ambulance. His eyes was bulged out of his head. I seen 2 roommates in the box. Both of them try to hang themselves. One of them was an MS-13, he had a life sentence from California, and they brought him down here. He had another body down here. Him and his roommate both hung themselves at the same time off the bunk. The CO walking by doing count, seen it. And let me tell you something else. When you hang yourself in the box in Florida prison, usually your common logic was like open the cell, go grab the inmate. You know what these people do to you? These people, and this is real shit, they walk by your cell and you're hanging with your bad rope the rope, bed sheet around your neck. You're hanging. What they do is they put it through the top bunk. The top bunk got little holes. It's flat, but they got little holes through it. They put it through their tie there. They put their feet on the bottom bunk, and they drop down on their knees, where their knees could touch the floor, basically. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they hang themselves from their bunk. The COs spray you with gas. That's what they do to you when you're trying to hang yourself. They open the flap, stick the nozzle in there, and spray you with gas. So I done seen that. I done seen like 7, 8 people in a month's time hang themselves in there, trying to get out of there. It's the only way you can get out of there. These COs are abusive. I done seen a kid get beat up. He was gunning. You know what I'm saying? And gunning in Florida, if you ain't been in Florida prison, gunning is, that's some predator shit, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got dudes that'll sit there and be in the shower and looking at the female officer. She might be in a bubble, and they start jerking off or something like that, watching her. Or they hiding behind a wall, and you only see half of their face. They're like this, and they jerking off. You know what I'm saying? That's some predator shit. You know what I'm saying? He was gunning the officer, and her husband works in this camp. Because these prisons are put in the middle of, in a country-ass town where everybody in that town works at this prison. Family, cousins, sisters, brothers. So if you have beef with one officer, 9 times out of 10, his cousin's coming in the next shift, or his brother, or his uncle, or whatever. So the beef rolls down. They're gonna let them know, like, yo, buddy right there, boom. So they're all they're gonna be pounding you out, you know what I'm saying? So dude was gunning his wife. He came over from the other camp. This was in the work camp. He was in the annex. I was in the annex too, but they shipped me to the work camp. So they sent him from the annex because he was the box officer in the annex. Dude was gunning his wife in the work camp. They cuffed him up. They beat him so bad his ribs broke and punctured his lungs. He was cuffed up. He had died. You know what I'm saying? I done seen him in the work camp beat a Crip so bad for something he ain't do. I mean, they beat this boy almost to death. They damn near his ass. You know what I'm saying? And once they do something like that, they pay attention to the phone calls. They monitor the phone calls. So, and the Crip didn't do nothing. And I thought it was gonna be me get picked, the Crip, or somebody else, because somebody did something stupid during count. The officers came in, nobody want to say who did it, so they like, we gonna pick somebody. I usually got that luck where I'm gonna get picked, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh man. So I had sat up on the bunk, the Crip sat up, and they grabbed him, took him, and they pounded him out real bad. You know what I'm saying? They pounded him out real bad. And in these type of situations, when these type of prisons, like this stuff is happening, you have to have like a homie. You have to give them your info. You know what I'm saying? You got to give them your info, like, yo, someone you could trust, because you got some slime ball ass niggas out here that be trying to holler at your girl, trying to holler at your, or, they do some crazy shit. So it got to be somebody you trust. That be like, yo, I'm going to give you my info. This my people, my mom, my girl, whoever it is. This their number. If something happened to me, let them know I'm in the box and the police are beating me. The only people that can see you when you're in the box is a lawyer. So tell them to send a lawyer up here, because they'll stop your mail. You be in the box, and then when you try to shoot a letter out to your family, they take that shit and throw it out. So you got to slide it to the cell next to you and let them throw, you know what I'm saying? Let them mail it out for you or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Because they play a dirty game. They'll hide you back there until you heal up, you know what I'm saying? So they beat this Crip senseless. Another dude, they was coming around count, I guess he was talking, they told him, officer told him, man, I'll beat the black off your ass. He said, boy, I'll beat the black off you. Some shit. Took the boy to jail. Now the jail, he was a black kid, hanging around with this white boy. The white boy looked kind of fruity, you know what I'm saying? He was a little spicy, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know what I'm saying, what they had going on, but they were cool all the time. They was always together. So they beat Buddy up too. But the white boy had his people info. This is why I tell you where to pay attention to the phones. He called his family and was like, yo, this and this happened. He in the box. Officer did this. They came and got the white boy out the chow hall. Breakfast. We had an officer there that used to be a wrestler, like a professional wrestler. He was like 6'7", like 400 something pounds. White boy was like 5'9", 160. He come out the chow hall, man, this dude grabbed him by the neck so hard, slammed him against the wall, had him in the air off his feet. You know what I'm saying? For calling the other dude's family. They beat him up and took him to the box. So it's that type of environment, you know. And then you got a lot of y'all coming like, oh, they ain't gonna do that to me. They ain't gonna do that to me. Man, they doing that to killers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, I've seen people that got bodies in there, they ain't really doing too much. It's the niggas that got 2, 3, 4 years that's popping off. Cause the dudes that got life, they just want to do their time. They don't want to go to CM. They done did all that maybe early in their bid. Now they just want to chill in their camp and do their time peacefully. They want to live their life. They don't want to be at war with the CEOs all the time. So most of the time, the lifers ain't, man, they do that to lifers. Man, they do that to everybody, man. Walking through the child hall, walk through the center gate. Female officer tell the inmate, man, I should beat your face in with this radio. She pulled a radio out to hit him with the walkie-talkie. Buddy wasn't having it though. Buddy pulled out a shank, like a foot long, chased all over the compound. They caught Buddy, you know what I'm saying? They beat him down. These COs in prison will kill you, bro. They'll pick you out of a line. You'll be walking to your dorm. You ain't got to do nothing. Walking to your dorm. Hey, you, come here. And that's it. They'll start messing with you. You being like, I ain't even do nothing. Because you're going to say that. You're going to be like, I ain't do nothing. What's going on? Like, and they're going to keep on until they get a reaction. And if they don't get a reaction, they're still going to do what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? They'll beat you down. They'll handcuff you, and beat the shit out of you. It almost happened to me with the gang unit officer. The mistake with him was he didn't handcuff me. Once he realized I wasn't handcuffed, the whole game changed. And I was lucky. Even when I almost went home, I had no game time. I didn't get game time. I had mandatory time. The COs were messing with somebody, but I done been there for like 3 years, so, you know, they was messing with this inmate, and I was ready, like, you know, you get tired of that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I spazzed out on the officer, and they took me to the back room. I had like 2 months left. I was out the door. So now I see more and more officers coming in. So it's like 9 of them. I'm like, oh Lord, man, they finna kill me in this bitch. So the officer's like, look, man, what were you saying? This and that. And then they check my game time. They're like, oh, you don't get no game time. No wonder why you talking shit. We can't take no game time for you. So I was like, nah, I'm mandatory. So he's like, oh. So he's like, but we can beat your ass and say you attacked us. And each one of us in here will press charges on you. And you won't go home. So these are the type of games they play. You know, and there was some officers in that room they was a hype. So they was like, nah, they was pretty cool with me. You know what I'm saying? They was like, nah, he been here for a while, you know, this and that. And they let me slide. Which I was blessed, because they will beat you down. People cut themselves, man. There's one dude cut a vein in his arm, right here. And was squirting the blood all over the wall. Because he want to go Psych. He want to get from this camp because the abuse that the COs have. It's crazy, man. You got female officers with chewing tobacco in their mouth, and spitting and then yelling at you, screaming in your face, spit coming out their mouth. You know, they will come in the box and just, you see the officer, we'd be all in the box for whatever reason, the officer come in and start kicking one of the cells, and he'll be screaming, stop, stop, stop. There's nothing going on. This is the officer doing it. And the cameras catch all the inmates looking at the glass, they got their face on the glass in the cell, looking out like, what's going on?